Do you hear that? Oh, no, shit, I was not even implying. No, I heard you. It's part of the spiel. But thank you, I love that. It's very enthusiastic. Okay, don't say anything. Do you hear that? It's the sound of silence. The silence that only comes from school starting up again. It's glorious. Sorry, there's kids over there. Now, I'm still a relatively new parent, but even I can appreciate these few hours of sweet freedom, when you can actually get work done. I'm writing this actual sermon during one of those periods right now. Or you just have a few hours to do the things that you want to do as a parent. Either way, it's freedom. The school year means freedom. For us, at least. Again, my apologies. I think I'm getting death looks over masks. But there's no such thing as a free lunch. And the school year brings its own additional tasks. You have to remember the litany of things the kids need to bring to school every day. Now, my kid is a little over 2, so he can't be expected to remember all those things he needs to bring to school every day, which means I have to do it. And it's a long list. You gotta remember the lunch, right? Goes on from there. There's a water bottle. There's a snack for the ride to school. There's a snack for the ride back from school. There's a sweater in case it's cold. There's a hat in case it's sunny, and the list goes on. Now this year, because he's moved up a grade, there's a new addition to this list of things you have to remember. Every Friday, the kids all have to bring a few coins for tzedakah. Now, on the face of it, I approve of this. Naturally, I'm a rabbi. As a parent, my first thoughts when I saw that on the list were, 1, I don't even know where I get coins, and 2, great, another thing to remember. And in those usually very frantic, annoyed moments, when I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to remember all of this stuff and look for a quarter, I think to myself, okay, so 8 kids bring a few pennies every week, or what are they seriously going to learn? What are they going to accomplish with that? I didn't say I was proud of that thought, but I do have it in my more frantic, running around moments. And truthfully, how many of us have had that thought? Perhaps in a different form, perhaps directed in other areas. Our attentions are drawn to so many places. You only have to crack open a newspaper or check your phone or the TV to see the sheer volume of need and pain in the world right now. So you would be forgiven for thinking, whatever I can do, whatever contribution I could make, it's a drop in the bucket, and there is an ocean of need out there. Ironically, buckets play a starring role in the Parsha this week. You can't make this up. Now, okay, it's a bit of a stretch. It's not buckets, actually, technically, it's baskets. Moses knows that his end is near, and as he's getting towards, this point, he's kind of sprinting through a recap of the whole Torah to the Israelites, kind of trying to touch on all the highlights. And one thing he touches on is this Bikurim festival, the holiday of first fruits. Back in the day, most of us were farmers. And also back in the day, we had a temple. And there was a rule that when your first fruits came in, your harvest, you didn't keep them for yourself. You didn't get to eat your very first fruits, your crop of the season. Instead, you brought them to the temple in a basket. And you'd leave it there. You'd never enjoy that fruit yourself. You'd never taste it. But you would leave it there as a testament to the bounty of the earth that God has helped you to enjoy. You'd even leave the basket. Our ancient rabbis were just fascinated with this rite. They really dissected the whole thing, every little part, they expounded on it. And what I find interesting in particular is what they talk about when it comes to the baskets. They write, "The rich will bring their bikurim, their first fruits, biklatot shel kesef v'shel zahav, in baskets overlaid with gold and with silver." That makes sense, right? They got the money to spare. And even leaving those gold and silver baskets at the temple when they were done, it probably didn't put a dent in their pockets, so to speak. The rabbis continue, "And the poor will bring their bikurim b'salei netzarim, in wicker baskets." Peeled wicker baskets, it goes on to say. So we know that it was kind of a DIY project that people took on for themselves. Nothing fancy there, but the mitzvah was done. You see, Jewish tradition holds that every person, no matter how much or little they can spare, is required to give of themselves. It's literally written into our laws, Kol adam chayav litain tzedakah. Every person is obligated to give tzedakah. Afilu ani, even a poor person. Because our tradition recognizes that all of us can give something. And even if all we have to give is a tiny, tiny bit, that's great. It's enough. Same thing with your first fruits. So what if you have to bring your harvest, your bounty, and you can't do it in a fancy gold basket? What matters is the fruit inside that you are donating to the temple in God's honor out of gratitude. Your homemade wicker basket is just as sufficient because it helps. It is enough. I know it's easy to feel overwhelmed right now, looking at the news, seeing all the need everywhere, at home, abroad. It seems like it's only growing. Those who need help because of political unrest or a global pandemic or natural or man-made disasters. And I know that for me, when I do even a cursory scroll, I am bombarded when I look at the news. Millions of people, it feels like, millions of people in desperate need. And it's so overwhelmingly terrible that I feel myself going numb. It's too much terrible. And I think, what? I give $5, $18, $180 to every cause I see ask for help, to every group that I know needs assistance. What could it really do? My $5, my $18, my $180. What difference could it make? But Judaism reminds us that we don't have the privilege of becoming inured to the pain of our family, of our friends, of our neighbors, of the world. And that giving tzedakah of any amount helps remind us of our own humanity. It's not about how glorious our basket is. It's the giving that matters. And even just a small amount that rabbis are fond of saying, Adam notein pruta, even if a person gives pennies for tzedakah, they merit to receive God's own presence. What we are capable of doing, that is sufficient. It is enough. We are enough. Our ability to help others in their time of need, it is enough if only we have the courage to remember and then act on it. Shabbat Shalom.